Have you ever been just absolutely bone tired, feeling that deep, heavy pull towards sleep, but then the moment your head hits the pillow, your brain just goes into overdrive, like it's suddenly time for a late night talk show in there.
Oh, definitely. Or maybe you're one of those people who falls asleep really fast.
Yeah, lucky them.
Right. But then you wake up what feels like every hour, tossing and turning, and it's a real struggle to get back to sleep again.
hmm And then there's that other one, the one that feels almost like sneaky.
Mm.
You've been in bed for, say, 8 solid hours, but you wake up feeling like you pulled an all-nighter, just completely unrested.
Yeah, that feeling of unrefreshing sleep, it's sometimes called vigilia. It's like you're hovering in this weird state between being awake and actually being properly asleep. It's incredibly common, and honestly, it's just draining.
So draining. It chips away at everything, right?
Course,
Your
yeah.
focus, your mood.
Your whole ability to function, yeah, physically and mentally.
Absolutely. So, okay, today, in this deep dive, we're really going to try and cut through all the noise around sleep. We want to get to the heart of what's actually happening when sleep feels more like an adversary than a friend.
Mm-hmm. And we'll uncover some of the maybe surprising science behind these really frustrating patterns.
Exactly.
Isn't it?
And crucially, we want to distill the most potent, actionable steps you can take, things you can actually do to reclaim your nights and finally get that truly restorative, deep sleep we all need.
So our mission basically is to arm you with insights that actually stick, to help you go from feeling exhausted all the time to feeling, energized.
Right, let's jump in. Okay, so let's unpack these 3 common sleep scenarios that just plague so many people. The first one, like we touched on, is that classic, I'm so tired, I really want to sleep, but I just can't.
Yeah. You're lying there watching the clock tick by, maybe it's an hour, maybe 2.
Yeah. Get up, get a drink, go to the bathroom, try settling down again. But nothing. It's like your body is screaming for sleep, but your mind is running a marathon, making lists, replaying conversations.
Uh-huh. It's active when it should be powering down. And what's interesting is how different these experiences feel, yet they all lead to that same outcome, feeling utterly sleep deprived.
Totally. Then there's a second pattern. You fall asleep almost instantly when you lie down. Which sounds amazing, right?
Did a dream start? Yeah. But then, bam, you're awake again. Maybe after just 15 minutes, maybe a bit longer. And this happens multiple times through the night.
And each time you wake up, trying to fall back asleep is just a battle.
Yeah.
It took half an hour, maybe longer. It makes the whole night feel so broken and choppy,
It's like the sleep never gets consolidated. It's constantly interrupted, never quite complete.
like a skipping record.
Yeah.
And then, okay, the third one, which I think can be the most insidious, the most draining. You do fall asleep, technically, but it's incredibly light, really superficial.
Mm-hmm. You might be in bed for the full 8 hours, but when you wake up, you feel like you haven't slept a wink. Just completely unrested.
It's that vigilia thing you mentioned, like your consciousness never really switched off properly. Your body was lying there, but your brain didn't get the memo about deep rest.
That's it, exactly. And this brings us to a really, really critical point. Why does sleep need to be reparative? What does that actually mean?
Right, it's not just about resting your eyes.
Not at all. It's about active physiological repair happening in your body. Think of sleep as your body's nightly maintenance crew. If that crew doesn't show up, or if they only do half the job, well, things start to break down over time.
So it's less like an off switch and more like hitting a reboot and repair button.
Precisely. And this is where it gets really fascinating, especially when we talk about your brain. We often think, oh, I got a few hours, that's something. But the science shows that real brain cell repair, the kind that clears out toxins, consolidates memories, restores cognitive function, it doesn't just happen the moment you fall asleep.
Okay, so when does it kick in?
Well, your brain actually needs a minimum, and this is key, a minimum of 4 continuous hours of deep, uninterrupted sleep to even enter that essential repair period.
Wow, 4 hours straight.
4 hours straight of deep sleep. If your sleep is constantly broken or if you're stuck in those later stages, that critical maintenance phase just can't happen properly. It's like trying to defrag your computer, but you keep stopping and starting the process. It never really finishes.
That makes sense. And it's not just the brain doing renovations overnight, right?
Mhm.
You mentioned the liver earlier.
Absolutely. Your liver, which is your body's main detox powerhouse,
Mhm.
does a huge amount of its work while you sleep.
Yeah.
It's meticulously processing and eliminating toxins during the night. And here's a connection people often miss. If you eat dinner very late, especially something heavy,
Uh-huh.
your liver has to work much, much harder during those nighttime hours. And that increased activity, particularly when it peaks in the early morning, say around 3 a.m.,
Yeah.
that can actually be the very thing that wakes you up. Your body's basically sending you a signal that it's still hard at work digesting and detoxing.
So that 3 a.m. wake up could literally be your liver saying, hey, I'm busy here because of that late meal.
It very well could be, yes. It's a common, often overlooked trigger.
Fascinating.
Yeah.
Again, then there's the immune system, our body's defense force. How does sleep tie into that?
Oh, hugely. Your immune system's strength, or lack of it, is profoundly impacted by your sleep quality and duration. Think about it in practical terms.
Okay.
If your immune system is compromised because you're not getting enough restorative sleep, recovery times from simple illnesses get much longer. What might take a healthy, well-rested person a couple of days to shake off a cold could drag on for a week, maybe even longer if your immune system is struggling.
Right. Makes sense.
But it's not just about a weakened system. Sleep also helps regulate the immune response. So conversely, if your sleep is consistently poor, your immune system can become sort of hyperreactive.
Hyperreactive. What does that mean?
Well, it means it can overreact to minor triggers. This can contribute to things like allergies worsening or even more serious conditions like autoimmune diseases, where the body mistakenly attacks its own tissues. Sleep helps keep that delicate balance in check.
Wow. Okay, so given all this vital repair work, brain, liver, immune system, what's the golden rule? How much sleep do we actually need for all this good stuff to happen?
Well, the consensus from the research is pretty clear. You need a minimum of 8 hours of sleep per night.
8 hours minimum.
Minimum. But really, aiming for 8 to 9 hours is considered ideal for most adults. And this is just as important as the duration that sleep needs to be continuous, deep, and truly reparative for all these complex essential processes to happen effectively. It's not just about time in bed, it's about the quality of that time.
Okay, that paints a really clear picture of why this isn't just a nice to have.
Yeah.
Truly restorative sleep is non-negotiable for health. So the big question, what can we actually do about it? What's the roadmap to getting there?
Right. The good news is there are some incredibly powerful, actionable steps you can take. And perhaps the most foundational one, though it's often overlooked or maybe just resisted, is addressing your diet and metabolism. It's amazing how often sleep issues really stem from underlying metabolic or hormonal imbalances.
And those are linked to what we eat and how much we move.
Profoundly influenced by diet and activity levels, yes. The key dietary changes sound almost too simple, maybe even obvious, but they're often the hardest for people to stick with consistently.
Like what?
Things like spacing out your meals properly, eating fewer times per day rather than constantly grazing, eliminating that constant snacking, or picotillo as it's sometimes called, and really cutting back or ideally cutting out those refined processed products. We kind of know we should do these things.
You do.
But actually implementing them can make a monumental difference to your metabolic health and consequently your sleep.
Okay, that's a good, maybe gentle nudge for all of us.
Yeah.
Right, moving on. Step 2 seems really intuitive when you think about our body's natural clocks, aligning with your circadian rhythms by going to bed earlier.
Exactly. Our brains have this internal program, you could call it a chip, that's been hardwired over millennia. It naturally prepares the body for sleep as the sun goes down.
So we should listen to that ancient programming.
Ideally, yes. The suggested sweet spot is aiming for a bedtime around 10 p.m. and waking up around 7 a.m. Now, of course,
That sounds early for some people.
it does, especially if you're used to going to bed at, say, 1 a.m. or later. Trying to suddenly shift by 3 hours overnight, that's probably not going to stick.
Right. So how do you manage that?
The key is gradual adjustment. It's about gently nudging your body clock. Try shifting your bedtime earlier by just 5 minutes each night, or maybe 5 minutes every couple of nights, or even just 5 minutes earlier each week.
Just 5 minutes.
Just 5 minutes. Small, consistent steps. Over time, those small adjustments add up, and you gently retrain your body's rhythm without it feeling like a massive, unsustainable shock to the system.
Okay, slow and steady wins the race for bedtime too.
Yeah.
And that brings us, logically, to the timing of your last meal, which connects right back to what you said about the liver.
Exactly. So ideally, you're looking at maybe 2 or 3 main meals per day for optimal metabolic health. But the crucial part for sleep is when that last meal happens.
Right.
Eating dinner late, say at 10 or 11 p.m., isn't just about potential heartburn or indigestion, though that can happen too. It directly impacts that liver detoxification process we talked about.
Because the liver has to work later into the night.
Precisely. It forces the liver into high gear during those early morning hours, which, again, is a prime suspect for causing those 3 a.m. wake-ups. Your body's basically saying, hold on, I'm still processing dinner.
So the advice here is similar to bedtime. Shift it earlier gradually.
Just like bedtime. If you normally eat at 10 p.m., try shifting it to 9:55 p.m. for a few days, then 9:50 p.m. Move it earlier, 5 minutes at a time. Your digestion, your liver, and your sleep will likely thank you for it.
Okay, makes sense. Diet, bedtime, dinner time. And now, the final step, the one that you hinted is maybe the hardest for most people.
Ah, yes. The one everyone dreads talking about. Ditching the electronic devices before bed.
The phones, the tablets, the TV.
Phones, TVs, computers, iPads, you name it. They are major, major culprits in undermining sleep. And it's actually a two-pronged attack.
Okay.
First, there's the light itself, particularly the blue spectrum light emitted by these screens. It directly signals to your brain that it's still daytime, suppressing the production of melatonin, your key sleep hormone.
Right, the blue light issue. We hear about that a lot.
We do, but arguably just as impactful, maybe even more so for some people, is the content you're consuming on those devices.
What do you mean?
Well, think about it. Watching an engaging TV series, doom scrolling through social media feeds, getting worked up about news headlines, answering emails, all of that activates your brain. It stimulates cognitive processes, emotions, alertness.
Exactly when you need your brain to be winding down.
Precisely. You're hitting the accelerator when you should be gently applying the brakes. So it's the light and the mental stimulation combined.
But just wearing blue light blocking glasses might not be enough if you're still watching something really exciting.
It might help a bit with the light aspect, but it doesn't address the mental activation problem. This is often the toughest change for people. We hear about folks who would honestly rather consider sleep medication than give up their pre-bed screen time.
Wow.
Yeah. And while, psychopharmaceuticals exist and can induce sleep, they often come with their own baggage side effects. Potential for dependency, not feeling truly refreshed. It's often described as more of an intoxication with chemicals than natural restorative sleep.
So the lifestyle change is really preferable. What's the rule then for devices?
The golden rule here is stop using all electronic devices, phone, tablet, computer, TV, at least 1 full hour before you intend to actually sleep.
1 hour minimum.
1 hour minimum. Give your brain a chance to naturally quiet down and prepare for rest. And, while there are natural supplements that can sometimes help nudge sleep along, finding the right one is very individual, and frankly, they can't compensate for poor lifestyle habits.
So the supplements are maybe a helper, but not the solution.
Exactly. The most significant lasting improvements in sleep almost always come from consistently implementing these foundational lifestyle changes we've been talking about, the diet, the timing, and crucially, managing that pre-sleep environment, especially screen use.
Okay, so let's wrap this up. What does this all mean for you listening right now? This deep dive has really unpacked some essential strategies for, hopefully, dramatically improving your sleep.
It boils down to making conscious choices about what you eat and, just as importantly, when you eat. Respecting your body's natural, ancient circadian rhythms by aiming for earlier bedtimes shifted gradually.
Strategically timing that last meal to give your digestion and liver a break overnight. And then, that really crucial digital detox, creating a screen-free buffer zone before bed.
And what's truly powerful to remember here is that these aren't just random sleep hygiene tips. They're fundamental shifts that directly address the underlying physiological reasons why you might be struggling with sleep in the first place.
Right, they work with your body's biology.
Exactly. By implementing them, you're not just, hoping for better luck with sleep. You're actively creating the conditions required for truly deep restorative rest. And the benefits ripple outwards to your brain health, your immune function, your energy levels, your mood, your overall well-being.
So, thinking about everything we've explored today, here's a final thought for you to take away. What's maybe one small adjustment you could realistically experiment with starting tonight?
Just one thing.
Yeah, just one small step. Something that feels manageable within your current routine, but knowing the potential profound ripple effect it could have on your brain, your immune system, your energy tomorrow. Think about the why behind these strategies. Connect it to how you want to feel, and maybe just try that first mindful step towards reclaiming your sleep.